3 core versions of Labubu.
What is a Labubu?
Do you miss the Labubu?
Today I unboxed like the rarest Labubu. Unboxing my very first Labubu.
So, what are those funky, freaky creatures that have exploded in popularity, becoming a fixture in the online collectible toy world? Everyone is hunting for Labubus, unboxing them, styling outfits around them, making dupes of them, and so on. Hello, and welcome to LNP Lancaster Online Podcasts. I'm your host, Julia Bischoff, and if you're anything like I was 2 months ago, you might be thinking, what the heck is a Labubu? Well, you're in luck, because today I am taking you on a journey into the mystery and madness behind Labubus. The couple-inch tall, sharp-toothed, bunny-eared creatures were born out of the artist Casting Lung's storybook tales. They follow a group of elves called Labubus. A toy rendition of the characters was released shortly after the series came out in 2015. And it exploded in popularity when Lung teamed up with the toy company Pop Mart in 2019. The Labubu toy now comes in something called a mystery box. Collectors have the chance to get one of a select variety of the Labubus within each box. It's kind of like a scratch-off for toy collectors. That mystery is fun and all, but I was just wondering why Labubus specifically have taken off. So to better understand, I chatted with local Lancaster County influencer and collector of collectibles, Brooke Ashley.
So I make content about trinkets, miniatures, from vintage to modern, a little bit of everything. So some things like vintage porcelain trinket boxes to the modern like mini brands.
Think little figurines of real life items and then some figurines created just to be collectibles. Brooke tells me she only recently started getting into Labubus, but says she was attracted to them because
I collect miniatures. I saw a lot of people putting little outfits on them and giving them like a little purse and glasses, and I was like, okay, well that's something I do enjoy. And so one thing led to another. And
while having one is fun, it was hard to actually get a hold of one. And when you do, it could set you back quite a few dollars. On Pop Mart, the blind boxes sell for $27.99, but trying to get your hands on one from a reseller could seriously up the price. Scrolling on Facebook Marketplace, Labubus sell from anywhere from $45 to $80 or even more, depending on how rare they are.
Yeah, in person is pretty much not possible. But I got a couple of the one series online. They have it on like a live stream on TikTok where they sold them. It's kind of like the QVC of like collectibles and toys in 2025.
But like I mentioned before, Brooke's no stranger to the collectible craze. So I wanted to know if there's anything that really set Labubus apart from her other collections.
Well, for some reason, Labubus have made its way into a more mainstream conversation, whereas some of the other things I collect, I feel like beforehand were seen as like a waste of money, like kind of childish. But now like Labubus just have everyone's attention. So they're starting to get an understanding for like the whole heal your inner child type collecting.
The collections are totally adorable, but I asked Brooke why she enjoys gathering all of these little figurines.
I'd say ever since I was little, I always loved and had an appreciation for tiny things, like just miniatures in general. Thought they were so cool. And then once I got some adult money in my life, I figured I might as well enjoy that now too. I think it's just fun, like especially if you can find like something that's considered rare for a good deal. Like so the vintage things I collect, if I can find them on like Facebook Marketplace for a fraction of what other sellers are asking for them, there's a bit of an adrenaline rush there.
Collectors are addicted to the chase, you could say. Their elusive nature is part of what fuels the fire. Plus,
especially in like the chaos of today's world, like it's one thing that like for the most part is relatively harmless. To me, that's like, yeah, go for it. We deserve some little joys.
After talking to Brooke, I wanted to get a better idea of what it's like being on the other side of things. Jacob Breyer is the Chief Merchandising Officer at Just Press Play in East Hempfield Township. It's his job to track trends, see what people are buying, and then try and get them in stock for Just Press Play. He tells me that getting a real Labubu in stock is almost as hard for the seller as it is for the buyer. Right now, they have Korean Labubus in stock. So what's the difference?
Okay, so the difference is going to be like the Pop Mart are the official licensed from Pop Mart. These are going to still be Labubu. They're still manufactured as Labubu, but they're not licensed through Pop Mart. So it's kind of like, has anybody ever said like, oh, this is the difference between like a bootleg and a fake? So like a fake is trying to be the thing that it's faking, whereas a bootleg is like inspired by it. So think of this as like, these are the bootleg. So they're not the exact Pop Mart ones, but they're not like the illegal fake trying to be the Pop Mart ones.
Jacob tells me the reason they don't have the Pop Mart ones is because Pop Mart has some requirements when it comes to getting their product in stock.
They do sell through independents as well. Right now, we weren't able to have like the buying power to do it. So they want very, very large commitments on the products other than Labubu. So some of it may do very well, some of it may not, but like us still as kind of a small mom and pop growing business, we just weren't able to commit to it.
The Labubus that Just Press Play has are smaller, but they don't look much different than the real ones. They've got the iconic sharp teeth, fuzzy coat, and rabbit-like ears, but they're not official. But that doesn't mean the product hasn't been flying off the shelves. People love all things Labubu, official or not, Jacob tells me.
So I've actually only had those in store for 2 months or so. I've had a lot of blind boxes and have seen like this huge explosive growth with them over the last few years. Honestly, we'll usually, on like a Saturday, we'll sell 150 of them easily, of the little box ones. We definitely can still move like 30, 40 through the week, but for sure, it's been a lot.
Theirs go for about $5 or $6 depending on the doll. Jacob has been tracking trends for a couple years now, and he offered some interesting perspective on how Labubu stack up to other crazy trends like Beanie Babies or Pokemon cards.
So fun fact, maybe it's fun fact. Every time that the world has entered a recession for the last 80 years, and you can track this, look it up if you don't believe me. Whoever's listening, look it up if you don't believe me. Women's high heels have gone up in height. Because at the time when you can no longer afford certain luxuries, a small luxury that feels more dramatic always makes you feel better. So I think with how tumultuous the world is right now, people are like, well, this is just cute and fun. And it gives me that little dopamine rush that I want. And I'm, sick of seeing like a news cycle that's so dark, and I just want something that makes me feel good. And this weird little monster with 9 teeth feels good.
Which is similar to what Brooke described to me.
Honestly, I think it's because people are really stressed right now. And when you're stressed, you look for things that you can control. And it's kind of strange, but right now, like, you can put aside a little bit of money for something fun and collectible like a Labubu, and it brings a little bit of joy. And it's just, I don't know, it's sort of like a stress reliever in a world full of chaos.
And I wanted to know, does this look like it's going to be just another overconsumption micro trend?
This is what's interesting to me. Kind of a lot of the collectors of these and a lot of collectors of trinkets, blind boxes, and stuff in general are not materialistic people. They just love that little treat, little dopamine rush. Like, they're not trying to like keep up with the Joneses. I will say trend cycles are getting shorter and shorter, but every trend always has people that become diehard fans and stay with it through the downswing of it. And maybe it swings up again at some point, but there's always people that collect anything.
With the reassurance that this trend could last and the challenge of them being near impossible to track down, I wanted to try and find a real Labubu for myself. And while I could go online and get one right now or find one from the countless resellers, I wanted to be on trend, like Jacob and Brooke explained to me.
I definitely prefer if I can find anything out in the wild, so like thrifting, antique stores.
People want to find things in the wild too, like in the world. I mean, literally, we all have a phone in our pocket where, in theory, we can get anything in a day. I mean, you can, with the right amount of money, order absolutely anything. But it's a different psychological experience than being like, oh my God, they had it. I'm getting it. I'm opening it in my car in the parking lot.
And I wanted to feel that same excitement. So I set out to a handful of different stores in Lancaster County. I started in a place any good shopping spree does, the mall. I walked inside Park City Center, zigzagging between places I would expect to find Labubus, like Urban Outfitters, BAM, and Hot Topic. All had collectibles like Sony Angels, Tokidoki unicorns, but I had luck with Labubus outside of those stores. I spotted a brightly colored stall in the walkway between Aeropostale and Bath & Body Works. They had multiple different types of Labubu boxes, from Big into Energy and Have a Seat.
So I settled for the one at Park City Center since it was $35. I'm looking at the box now. It looks pretty legit from what I was reading online. The QR code actually leads to the Pop Mart website, and there are the 6 options for what I could get on the inside. I'm hoping for ZZ. It looks white on the outside of the box, which I think is cute, but of course I also want the rare one, which is the secret one. Without further ado, let's open it up and see what we got. Okay, so I did get ZZ, which is very exciting. Looking at this doll, I cannot really tell if it is real or not. It has all of the signifiers that it should be real. Its head swivels, it has an emblem on its foot, the paint isn't too bright, but the paint on its face seems kind of misplaced. So overall, I'm about 50-50. I'm tempted to say that it's not a real one just because I feel like there's so many out there. But my goal was to find if you could buy a Labubu in real life in Lancaster County. And I guess the answer to that remains maybe.
Thanks for listening to this episode of LNP Lancaster Online Podcasts. I hope you had as much fun listening to me say Labubu as I had saying it. Make sure you review and comment on this episode and subscribe wherever you stream podcasts. Check out Lancaster Online for even more.